Educational Games and Simulations in the Classroom by Megan Hall. The purpose of my paper is to look at if educational games and simulations in the classroom help the students retain the material and be more engaged in the classes. I wanted to find out if using games and simulations in the classroom is really beneficial for students. If the data showed that these games did help the students learn the material, then use within the classroom should increase. If the data and research did not show these games to be beneficial to the students, then other methods need to be used to engage the students and help them learn the material. I looked at studies that used educational games and simulations at all levels. The literature I found looked at studies that worked with elementary, middle school, high school, and even college students. The studies I looked at also focused on a variety of subjects, including geography, science, social studies, and theater. All of the studies had the students using educational games and simulations in the classroom, and they used them in different ways. The first two articles focus on educational simulations in the classroom. The first one focused on college students, and the second one focused on middle school students. Both of these studies showed that the students who participated in the simulation knew more about the content. Both studies also show that the students were more excited about the lesson after participating in the simulation. Articles 3 and 4 both focused on games in the elementary school classroom. The first study found the games to be highly motivational for the students. The second study showed that science content learning and self-efficacy significantly increased when playing the game. Articles 5 and 6 both focused on games in the middle school classroom. The first study showed that the students gained an understanding of the relative scientific concepts because their performance on the scenario-based science assessment were significantly improved across serious game-playing occasions, and the effect of learning was retained long-term. The second study proved that the students were able to learn from playing Humanology, an online game, as well as from browsing web-based materials, and they both significantly improved their overall understanding of human immunology in this study. Articles 7 and 8 focus on educational games at the high school level. The first study showed that the students felt more engaged and learned the material better through the use of the game. It was challenging and kept the students engaged and focused. The second study proved that the game was effective in improving the students' interest in theater and the knowledge of the play. It also showed that educational video games can be used as motivational tools within high school theater courses, since they can increase the interest of students towards theater. Article 9 focused on students playing educational games at home versus students playing these games at school. The results showed that the students playing at home report significantly higher scores on enjoyment, perceived learning, and identification. When looking at the data from all of the studies who used educational games and simulations, it shows that they have been effective at all grade levels. It has helped students be more engaged in the lesson, more active in their lesson, and has been shown that the students retain more of the classroom information. Some of the studies had the students completing the game or simulation in groups, and some had them working alone, and in each case, the students still improved in all of those areas. Educational games and simulations are not a teaching technique that can only be used in certain grades. They can be adapted and changed to meet the needs of students in all grade levels, at all ability levels, and in any subject. When teachers use educational games and simulations, they bring the content alive to the students and make learning more relevant to their lives. It also shows that the students can even be playing these games at home and still be learning the content. Overall, educational games and simulations are a great addition to the classroom. The students enjoy the activities and learn from them as well. Some of the studies had the students working in groups, working alone, creating a project with it, and even making the games. This shows that there is more than one way to use educational games and simulations. Teachers still need to make sure that the games that they are using with their students are appropriate for them. They also need to do more research into how they plan to use the games in their classroom to help support them and their students. Overall, educational games and simulations are a great aspect of the classroom and very beneficial to students and